Greetings, guys. We're back out on the trail again today, and stick around. I got some information on the TM250. Well, greetings, guys and gals. We're delighted to be out testing a new to us bike. This is a 2020 TM250 EN, the Enduro version, and this one is the TPI version. And I just picked this up from our distributor. This very bike I'm riding is the one that they had in the Dirt Bike magazine for one of their tests. And I was able to procure this bike from the distributor when it was returned from Dirt Bike, and so it's got very low hours on it. And I'm just getting it out. I wanted to see how the 250 compared with the 300. I've been riding the 300 since early this spring and enjoying the heck out of it. And I wanted to see how the 250 compared. And I'll tell you what, I was rather impressed. It's a different type of power in the 250 than it is in the 300. The 300 pulls really hard right off of the bottom, right up through the range. And the 250 is a little bit softer off of the bottom. And then as you let it spin up, it will really impress you. It's a very fast motorcycle. I've ridden a lot of 250s and then open class bikes, 450s and 500s and that sort of thing on this same type of trail. And what I've learned is the 250s on this really tight stuff, it's easier to keep traction. When you're rolling over logs and over rocks and things like that, the 250, with a little bit of softer power on the bottom, it doesn't spin the wheel or spin the tire as much. And it's a little easier to get through the really tight stuff. This trail I'm on here is in the High Sierra. It's a secret trail, and if you go and look at our other videos, we've got one just on secret trails. I just happened to run across somebody who had mentioned this particular area, and I looked around and I was able to find it. So this is not a trail that we built or anything. Somebody else has built this just a few years ago. And I was able to go out and check it out. It's a nice loop. It's all tight, first and second gear kind of stuff, but I really enjoyed it. But I also wanted to talk about fuel injection, pardon me, and carbureted versions. In the TM, you can get them either way. You can get the fuel injected in the 250, you can get the carbureted in the 250, and the 300 also comes in both versions. And I've ridden the fuel injected. I had one of those, fuel injected 300. This is the 250 with fuel injected. And, it's the latest rage in dirt biking is have fuel injection. But I have found there is some subtle differences between the two. The fuel injection softens the power a little bit in the delivery. It's more of a linear power, meaning it doesn't peak up quite as fast, and it stays carbureted very well. Now the engines run just a little bit warmer, a little bit hotter in there because they're a little bit leaner than you might carburate your engine, and so they get a little bit hotter. Not that it was a problem with the heat. Here I'm riding, it's like 92 degrees here on these trails when I'm out here right now. And there was no overheating problem or anything like that. But they do run a little bit hotter and a little bit leaner, and you can feel the difference when you're chugging up through a rock pile or something like that between the carburation and the fuel injection. The fuel injection's a little bit softer there, which is kind of nice, but I kind of tend to prefer the carburetor just for my own purposes, because when you want to blast up a lip edge or something like that, the carburetor will respond just a little bit faster. Different guys have different ideas on carburation versus fuel injection, and these are just my opinions. And you're welcome to leave a post on your opinion on those. I'd love to hear some feedback on some of the other brands that are running fuel injection and or carburation, and see what your experience has been. This bike runs surprisingly well at low RPMs, and this trail that I've been riding on, as you can see as I get stuck there on a wet route, on this trail there was no place to really punch it up until I got my way back out of there and into the open terrain. This was a first and second gear trail all the way through. As we climb up through this rock area here, you can hear how I'm not overloading the engine. I'm just letting a little momentum carry me up and that sort of thing. So we really appreciate it when you guys will subscribe and join us in this adventure that we're on. We like it when people click the like button. That's always a nice thing to know that we're not just wasting our time, but we're getting good feedback. And I do appreciate those people who leave comments and send me emails and things like that, because we like to be able to discuss dirt bike riding. And, you know, I'm a dirt bike guy and I just love this stuff. I love these kind of tight trails, and I find them really invigorating when you get out there. Here it is hot, but I'm in the shade half of the time. And, you know, we ride in the desert. We ride it. This is in the high Sierras. And it just happened to be a really hot day that day. I think it was like down in the bottom of the valley, it was almost 100 degrees. And yet we're up here and it's a little bit nicer. I can't wait till we get some moisture in this ground. So we're back on track here, and I wanted to explain a little bit more about riding the TM. The TM is a really high quality machine. Not just because we sell them, but I've ridden a lot of different machines in my day. I've owned over maybe 50 or 60 bikes of my own, so I've had a good experience, both 4-stroke and 2-stroke. I thoroughly enjoy riding the 4-strokes as well. But on this kind of stuff, the 2-stroke is hard to beat. I mean, it's just a good bike for, you know, getting around in the woods and the tough trails and stuff like that. I like the fact that it feels lighter. You can get right down the trail on it. It doesn't feel like it's bouncing you around. The TM comes with KYB front forks. Look how steep this hill is here, boys. Just barely hanging on going around there. It comes with the KYB front forks, and they can be adjusted to your liking. And they're really smooth. You don't get the wheel hop or bouncing going on. And then the rear shock is a shock that TM makes in their own factory. And it's a kind of a copy of Olin's shock. So it is very adjustable. It feels very smooth underneath you. And, well, here's another one of those ruts that caught me. I had to pull back off of it because I didn't hit it at the right angle. And the wheel just spun. So here we go. Let's get up out of there. And we're going to head into a pretty rocky section up here. You know, I do enjoy being the challenge of riding this kind of stuff. It's, you know, it's not the same old all the time. We get a whole variety of different types of trails around in the Sierras. And that was a pretty good drop right down into that other rocky section here. But I want to talk about the quality of the TM machine, the fasteners, the welds, the machining, and all of that stuff. I'll put it up against any of the other European brands for sure. They're hand built in Italy. They're just fine machines. They do everything right. If you go and watch any of the World Enduro races, the hard enduro stuff like Erzberg and Iron Giant and those kind of races, you'll always see TMs in there, and they're always very near the top of the standings. Of course, the top guys, the Graham Jarvises and those guys, they're all factory-backed and factory-sponsored riders, but there's a lot of other pro riders who are riding the TMs now because they found that they can't get any better bike for the money. And the guys that have to buy their own will buy a TM. They're very popular there. and they take on the gnarliest of tough stuff. The bikes are known for the engines being just tough. The transmissions hold up well, the clutches hold up well. They can take this kind of abuse. They have large radiators on them to help keep them cool. This version and all the ones we buy are the 12-liter gas tanks on them. They come with just under 3 gallons, and we just equip ours with the bigger tanks to start with, because most of us like to ride for quite a while anyway. And now you're not having to go out as soon as you buy your new bike and order a tank for it so you can get around your favorite loop, because these already come large. So there's a lot of other nice amenities to the bike. As you can hear, it's not noisy or raspy sounding. It has a nice smooth sound to it, nice smooth pull on the power. That's one of the things I really appreciate about the TM 2-stroke. We ended up going to a spark arrestor in the back with a fish spark arrestor, and if you want to give me a call, I can give you the information on that. It's a forestry approved spark arrestor that goes in the end of the muffler on here. The bike's got a nice long muffler to keep it quiet. It's still got a nice sound, but it's not noisy. It doesn't wear you out over the course of the day. So I'm going to shut up here and let you guys enjoy the rest of the ride. And again, send us a comment. We always appreciate it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.